Big 12 Today here on Big 12 Radio, heard exclusively on TuneIn. You're watching us live on Big 12 Studios with Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. We're now joined by Arizona coach Tommy Lloyd. Coach, in your first 4 years, you've won 112 games. That is the second most all-time in college basketball through 4 seasons.
Does it feel like it?
I mean,
That's a lot of wins.
I feel like there's a couple of those losses I'd like to have back. I mean, guys, I'm at a great spot, and I think you got to keep things in perspective. I was fortunate enough to get my first head coaching job at an elite program with great bones. A lot of guys have to cut their teeth in a different way, and so the one thing, one of the reasons I didn't maybe leave Gonzaga. I mean, there's multiple reasons. For one, I loved it there, and it was the place, where we felt like we needed to be. But I just have such a respect for how hard this coaching stuff is, and I'm no genius. And there's a lot of good coaches out there that leave an assistant coaching job and take a first tough job, and for whatever reason, they're not able to win. And it might not be them. It might just be the place. It might be the circumstances. So I never wanted to put myself in that situation. I was so happy at Gonzaga and felt like, I was – Coach Few allowed me to contribute to an elite program, and I didn't want to disvalue that, and then I didn't want to think that I had this magic wand and anywhere I go I just won. So I waited so long to be a head coach, and it was 22 years. I'm joking there, but I waited 22 years, and somehow I ended up at the Arizona job. So I think I'm pretty lucky. Let's put it that way. I don't know. So let's not make too much out of this or that. My circumstances allowed me to be pretty lucky in the first job I got.
Is this the youngest team you've coached? I mean, you guys have an elite recruiting class coming in, top 2 in the country. You've just brought in a ton of high-level talent. But we look at your roster and we see a lot of freshmen.
Yeah, no, I mean we're definitely have some youth, but I think when people watch us play, I don't think they're going to feel like we're young. So I feel good. I feel good where we're at. We were intentional with how we put the team together, and we feel like it's a team that's going to allow us to be, competitive nationally. And now you got to go out and do the work.
Is what you said earlier what makes you such a good coach and makes you so smart? Is you know the things you do not know?
I don't know. I mean, you're so much smarter than me. You just confused me right there with that question. I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, was that a double negative?
No, you know you don't know everything, right? I mean, that's the smartest people on earth.
I mean, there are a few geniuses, but that's a dangerous world maybe to be living in, and people that think they're geniuses
are
not. So, listen, I'm a kid from Kelso, Washington, who somehow loved basketball, playing in his driveway, and just kind of been able to ride that wave and work really hard and end up in a good spot. So, I think one of the attributes you always have to have that you cannot lose is gratitude, and just an awareness of where you're at. And that doesn't mean that we need to be cheesy and over the top with it, but I'm grateful for where I'm at, and that there's a certain set of circumstances that allowed me to get here, and probably a little bit of it good luck, probably a little bit of it hard work, probably a little bit of it timing. So I try not to overthink it, and then guys, I have it very simple. I live a simple life, day to day. I'm a day-to-day guy, and so, not that I'm not looking ahead build my program, but I really just try to stay in the moment and live day to day.
Last year, I know that there were stretches where you guys didn't shoot it very well from 3. How are you this year in terms of roster construction, and what's Arizona basketball going to look like this season?
Well, I mean, hopefully a lot of the things we've looked like the past years. I think it's important to have an identity, and you don't necessarily want to be, the best programs that I know aren't reinventing themselves every year. I mean, you're looking at, tapes from one season to the next, and there's a lot of similarities, in the DNA of those successful teams. So I'm hoping to see a lot of the same things we've had, a team that shares the ball, that plays with great effort, plays with great pace, plays with force, values paint points, is physical. I mean, I hope you see all those things. I'm hoping we're overall a little better shooting team than we were last year, but, I'm never a guy that's, put shooting as the most important thing to winning and losing basketball games. There's so many more things that go into a game than just having the ability to make a 3. That for sure it's important. But I think it's easy for people that are just solely analytic driven, or for fans to fixate on that because it's kind of a shiny object.
Yeah,
but for
totally.
us, we like to have a little more depth to what we do.
You got a couple of freshmen that are studs. In Koa Pete and Braden Berries. I guess just give us a sense here of those guys and maybe what surprised you about them now that you have them on campus.
Well, one of the great things, one of the biggest surprises has been there's been no surprises. I mean, we watched those kids for a couple years and obviously got to really know them and their families well in the recruiting process, and just we felt like these guys were instant high-level contributors and had the competitive character that you're looking for. And you look at what allows freshmen to be successful. Well, it's a couple things. Physically, you got to be ready. They check that box. And then you got to be competitive. They check that box. And then you have to have a certain amount of basketball IQ / experience. Well, I think their basketball IQ is going to allow them to get experience fast. So I'm excited about them. And we have some other freshmen that are going to play as well. Dwayne Aristote and Ivan Karchinkov are going to see significant roles in this team as well. And they're both physically ready to play at this level. They probably just need a little bit of experience to kind of solidify them as being night in and night out contributors.
And with your veterans that you have coming back, Jaden Bradley at the point, he's such a physical guard and can get downhill. And then we saw him shoot it much better in the Big 12 and NCAA tournament. He was over 50% from three. He was 8 of 15 in the postseason. What's his game look like? What's he been working on, and what do you need from him?
Well, JB's a floor general. I mean, he's kind of, you got your old school point guard vibes where he's going to do whatever the team needs for him, for us to be successful. So, JB's reliable. I mean, he's an everyday guy, and there's great comfort for me, being a head coach, knowing that he's our point guard. But, we also have another guy, Tobe Awaka. Tobe's a beast, and, he gives everything, every possession. We had a kind of a team talk, a few weeks ago, and we were kind of going through some things, and off the cuff, I asked Tobe, I said, Tobe, why do you play so hard? And without hesitation in front of the team, he said, it's for my teammates. And I thought that was really powerful. And, another guy, that we were really expecting to really contribute this year, Anthony Del Orso, has really made, he made significant jump, kind of got his first taste of high-level college basketball last year, and he's really put some work in on his body and kind of what he's going to need to be successful. And then, there's kind of the forgotten 7-2 guy. It's hard to forget about Mo Krievis, but, he kind of was – his season was shortened last year by injuries, and he was never at 100%, and now he's at 100% and looking as good as ever. So I'm excited.
I'm asking every coach their thoughts on the zone defense, and I'm very curious for your answer here.
Why?
I don't know. You're an interesting guy. That you've obviously got a great a great basketball mind. I'm curious for.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Oh, I know.
He read an article in the Athletic.
He did read an article in the Athletic. Yeah. No. What's funny? I was speaking at the Rotary Club in Tucson, Arizona, last week, and I go and I'm not as prepared as I should be. And I show up and I'm like, what is this Rotary Club thing all about? And next thing I know, it's like 250 people that are just like fired up and excited. And so I get up there and I'm talking, and you go through the deal and the spiel, and then some guy puts up his hand and he's like, hey, coach, are you ever gonna zone or press? And I'm like,
what'd you say?
I'm like, why? And he's kind of looked at me, and I just said, hey, I'm just joking, I'm messing with you. But yes, I am. And what's your name, sir? And he said, Jim. I'm Jim or whatever. I'm like, okay, guys, when we zone or press this here and it doesn't work, it's Jim's fault. But yeah, no, we of course, you work on presses and zone, and we pressed, we intermittently some last year. You just got to get to know your team and know what works a little bit. But for sure, I mean, we're always looking at things. And one of the reasons you put in a zone, early in the season is, you want to be able to practice against it.
Yeah.
And so
when teams go zone against you.
Yeah, for sure. So there's lots of consideration that goes into it. But the Big 12. The one thing I know about the league in just the short time I've been here, it's a rebounding league. If you can't rebound, good luck. So if you play, a defense that maybe you're not great rebounding out of, it don't matter if they miss that first shot, because they're going to get it and they're going to dunk the second one and foul your team out. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of consideration that goes into it.
Yeah, really good stuff. Coach, appreciate your time as always. Tommy Lloyd, Arizona basketball. Thanks for being here.
Did you guys get to go hold those puppies?
Of course. course.
Like that was literally like
they
I feel like I just had counseling. Like,
I know. We've had players holding the puppies. They're like therapy dogs. And
They
you could
are
just see there's
therapy
just
dogs.
a sense of calm.
We've got coffee and puppies aside. I mean, we're flanked by two really good situations
So
here.
one's getting you fired up, and the other one's
Exactly.
kind of calming you down.
Exactly.
I like the combination.
the best of both worlds.
All right, guys. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Great to
Arizona
see you.
basketball coach Tommy Lloyd here at Big 12 Media Days on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios. Big 12 Today here on Big 12 Radio, heard exclusively on TuneIn, watching us live on Big 12 Studios here at Big 12 Basketball Media Days with Ari Timken down there at the end. I'm James Westling. We've got Arizona Wildcat basketball players Tobe Awaka and Koa Pete, the veteran and the young guy. So take us through this offseason and the chemistry that has developed. We'll start with you because you're the vet with all these young guys that are on this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really exciting. They're a very mature class, sort of mature beyond their years, and it's been fun to see them grow. I think the thing that I'm most impressed with is just sort of the focus and the intensity that they bring each day. There's really no drop-off, and just seeing them sort of grow through the ups and the downs of the season because, obviously when you come into college for the first time, there's going to be a learning curve, but just to see how they've sort of taken that adversity and accepted it, embraced it, and moved through it. It's been great to see.
Koa, 6 siblings?
Yeah, 6.
6 siblings?
I'm the 7th.
You're the 7th. And talk to the mic if you wouldn't mind.
My bad.
No worries. Why'd you play football? Isn't like most of your family football players?
Yeah, most of my family played football. I think just seeing my sisters play basketball really inspired me, and I think just my body type, how tall I got at a young age, and just my love for basketball really grew, especially during the pandemic. And I really started working hard on my body and everything, and I think I just really fell in love with the game, and I started getting push from college coaches, and I just really wanted to focus on one sport. It's hard to play 2 sports now.
No, for sure.
Players are getting a lot better at like skill-wise, especially for basketball. You gotta really be focused and be in the gym.
So what kind of advice have you gotten from family members that have played at the highest level, whether it's football or basketball?
Yeah, I think just from a young age, they really instilled hard work and just keeping my head down and just being a good character. They instilled that in me, and I think they put down the stepping stones for me, and I've seen them all go through their processes, and I'm just trying to come along. But I think I'm better than most of them, like my older brothers and sisters, just because of their learning experiences and the stuff they give to me, and I think I'm doing a good job with it.
Tobe, you were a top 5 rebounder in the Big 12 this past season. You had a huge game against Oregon in the NCAA tournament, a double-double, 12 points and 14 rebounds. Your coach was talking about your leadership, and you play so hard and so physical. Why?
I think it's a testament to my parents, just seeing them, work day in and day out to provide a good life for me and my siblings. And then obviously I think that overall, when you're playing the game and you're going through adversity, there has to be something, bigger than yourself that you're playing for. And for me, that's God, that's Jesus Christ, that's for me personally. But I think those things combined has sort of built me into the person that I am today. And I try to, show that on the basketball court day in and day out.
Koa, there's so much talk about the freshmen coming into this conference. Darren Peterson, AJ DeBanza. Do you feel like you're being shortchanged a little bit, even on your own team, with another 5-star?
I mean, I don't really look into all that stuff, but the main thing for me is just keep the main thing, stay in the gym, and all that other stuff will take care of itself.
How would you guys describe, Arizona was a really unique case study last year because you guys played up-tempo, really physical, would have really good shooting nights and then really bad shooting nights. How would you describe the identity of this Arizona basketball team?
I think for sure this year and last year, I think it's love, as unique as that may be. Love for each other, love for the game, love for the community. And when all those things are working in unison, when all those things are in sync, I think something very special and beautiful can happen. And, I think that's something that, Coach Lloyd's been preaching day in and day out, sort of harping on, who we are as a team, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to establish for ourselves. And I think sort of understanding that allows us to sort of play with that identity, on our chest, every single game.
It's funny talking to you. You're kind of softer spoken than I would have expected. I mean, you only have one speed you play with, and that is an intensity. And I mean, it's a fan favorite type of speed because it's easy to root for a guy that's constantly hustling and rebounding. And so, I mean, where does that come from? Not just your upbringing, but then also it doesn't seem to mix your personality. Like off the floor, you seem like a good, nice guy, like not as intense as you are on the floor.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just the way I grew up playing. I think when I was younger, didn't really have any offers until late. My senior year, I was kind of overlooked for the most part. Towards the end of my senior year, so I sort of got traction and all that kind of stuff, and was playing EYBL. And my coach at the time, Dana Dingle, for the New York Lightning, he just kind of told me, like, if you lead the EYBL in rebounding, you can make it D1 to the level that you want to play at. So I took that to heart, and that's kind of been sort of my brand ever since.
Do you guys watch any sports outside of basketball, or is it just basketball?
Yeah, I watched the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cardinals?
I like the Steelers this year. My brother plays for the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. That.
How did I not know that? Steelers. All right. How about you?
I like to watch soccer here and there.
Okay, little soccer.
Just basically whatever pops up. I'm not really good at like following like clubs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess something like the Premier League.
I don't watch sports.
Oh.
Couldn't tell you. Just kidding. That's a joke.
But yeah, something like the Premier League is on, or whatever's on, I'll tune in.
It's a thing. This guy, he claims I don't watch sports
Because he doesn't.
Because it's our
Be like,
job.
oh, did you watch the game last night? No.
And we love it. And sometimes
We don't know what to
sometimes there are times I'd like to sit on my couch and watch Netflix. And there's nothing wrong with that,
shame
guys.
at all. No
Thank
shame.
you.
Well, when you say sometime,
sometimes
he does watch Big 12 games. I'll give him that.
Yeah, give me that.
He watches Big 12 football, Big 12
All
basketball.
right, who's your favorite athlete then outside of
That's not your brother.
basketball? You can't say your brother.
Outside of basketball.
Yeah, outside of basketball. So that's why I asked you guys if you watch sports outside of basketball.
I'm gonna go Serena Williams.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a very good one.
Baller.
Dominant,
Sticking with
badass.
soccer,
She's
I'll
doing
say
all
Messi.
these weight loss commercials.
Well,
Serena. Yeah.
she can do whatever she wants. She's Serena.
I know.
Okay.
She's Serena. She's crushing it. I'm just saying that's what I think of Serena right now because she's all over my Hulu.
Who's your soccer player then?
I would
Tobe?
say Messi.
Messi.
Messi, yeah.
If I knew soccer better, I could find somebody that plays your style in soccer. You know what I mean?
For
Like
sure.
there's.
Probably like a defender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch like old Dennis Rodman clips?
No.
Do you know who that is?
I do know who
Okay.
that is. I do know how. Yeah.
Have you seen Last Dance?
Yes.
Highly recommend.
I've seen that twice actually.
But go watch like Dennis Rodman. I mean, talk about a high flyer. I mean, pound for pound, the greatest rebounder ever.
Ari's radio co-host and NBA scout.
I mean, I'm not scouting. Like, it's pretty obvious. He's amazing, and he was like 6'8". Greatest rebounder, pound for pound ever. So,
Awesome
and
stuff.
I feel like Tobe has got it in him to be
Yeah.
a Dennis Rodman type.
No,
you know?
for sure. For sure. He's a beast. He's a beast. You guys are awesome. Can't wait for this season, man. Arizona basketball. It's gonna be good.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Koa Pete, Tobe Awaka here at Big 12 Basketball Media Days. We are talking Arizona here on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios.